Hello viewers, welcome to our YouTube channel this morning. Still with the 2023 KQ projections at number 24, and what a good question for us today. I know the lovers of maths have been waiting for this. That is relative speed, and the question reads, the distance between two towns A and B is 760 kilometers. A minibus left town A at 8:15 a.m. and traveled towards town B at an average speed of 90 kilometers per hour. A matatu left town B at 10:35 a.m. on the same day and traveled towards town A at an average speed of 110 kilometers per hour. So the first part of the question is asking, how far from A did they meet? 4 marks. Roman B or part B, at what time did they meet? 2 marks. Part C of the question, a motorist starts from his home at 10:30 a.m. on the same day and traveled at an average speed of 100 kilometers per hour. He arrived at town B at the same time as the minibus. Calculate the distance from B to his home. That is 4 good marks. So coming to our solution, before we continue, let me take this opportunity to thank you guys for supporting this program, for sharing knowledge, and I have no words to say. Thank you very much, and may God bless you. So going straight to a solution, we are told, so I'll use a small diagram, a sketch that is, so town A and town B. We are told the distance between these two towns is 760 kilometers. Then we have a minibus moving at a speed of 90 kilometers per hour and began its journey at 8:15 a.m. in the morning towards town B. Then after some time, at 10:35 a.m., another car, matatu left town B for town A on the same day, moving at an average speed of 110 kilometers per hour. We're just taking notes. So we are asked here to be able to tell under part A, how far from A did they meet? So I want us to use this diagram to be able to understand the question and be able to solve it appropriately. So the first thing, I would want to use a small question. Who began first? Who began first? Or who started the journey first? So, and by how much? And by how much? What I mean here is time. How much time was he ahead of the other? So we are finding that it is the minibus that started early. That is at 8:15 and moved towards B until 10:35 is when the other vehicle also began. So let's say at 10:35 a.m. vehicle A or minibus had covered some distance 1. So distance 1, as we know by formula, distance is calculated as speed times time. So the speed of the minibus was 90 kilometers per hour times a total time of, so 10:35 minus 8:15. 10:35 minus 8:15, that will give us 2 hours 20 minutes, which is 2.33 hours. So multiplying this, we shall be able to have 90 times. Converting this into improper, we shall have 7/3. And finally, the answer becomes 3 goes there, 1, 3 goes there, 30. 30 by 7 is 210 kilometers. So the minibus from town A has covered 210 kilometers. that is up to 10:35 a.m. Now, at 10:35 a.m., all of them are now on move, and therefore, the next question I'll ask myself, let me come over this side. The next question I'll ask myself is, what is their distance of separation? What is their distance of separation? What distance is separating them? So, how far are they apart? So one is, the time is still the same, 10:35, 10:35. I always use diagram. And the total distance we knew was 760, and 210 is already used or covered. And therefore, getting the remainder, we shall get here 550 kilometers. So the distance left here is 550 kilometers to be covered by the two vehicles. And therefore, that brings what we call relative speed. Their relative speed will therefore be, remember they are moving in opposite directions, and therefore they are working together to cover this distance. So we sum up their speed. Speed 1 plus speed 2. That is 90 plus vehicle 2 was moving at a speed of 110. And therefore, coming over 110, we shall have a total of 200 kilometers per hour. That is what they cover in 1 hour working together, now that they are moving in opposite directions. So guys, I hope up to there we are still together. We started this side and we are able to say, get the first distance covered by vehicle 1. And now we are talking about the distance left for them to cover together under what we call relative speed. So time taken to meet, that is from 10:35. What amount of time do they still need so as to meet? So we all know how to get time, distance over speed, but the speed we are talking about now, they are all moving, and therefore we call it relative speed. So this becomes the 550 is what they are covering over their relative speed, which is 200. And therefore, the amount of time they need to meet as from 10:35 will be 040. So we get 2 hours. We get 2 hours and 45 minutes. That is 3/4 hours. If you divide, you get 3/4 hours. And therefore, what time is it? What time is it? In real sense, what time of the day was it? So we are saying, to get the time, we take the time they began to move together plus the duration now they have taken moving together until they met. So as we add this, we shall get 0. Of course, this is 7, 8. Because they are minutes, I'll write 20. I'm minusing 60 minutes, which is 1 hour. Bringing 1 hour this side, it shall be 1320 hours. 1320 hours in 24 hours clock system. Or if I minus 1200 here, what do we remain with? We shall have 1:20 p.m. So that is the meeting time. That is therefore the meeting time, the time of the day that they met. So coming back to our diagram here, or let me just use the diagram over here now. So let's pretend they have met here at 1:20 p.m. At 1:20 p.m. So still, none of them has reached their destination. They are still, it's only that they have reduced the 550 kilometers to nothing now, to 0. Now they have met. So after overtaking each other, or passing each other, then each one of them shall continue with their journey. Now let me go back to the questions. We are told, how far from town A did they meet? So From town A, we are still going to use the minibus, of course, the minibus here, the minibus that began at 8:15. We have said we have met here, or they have met here at 1:20 p.m. and therefore we have to know this distance too, because already we had distance 1 as 2:10 already covered by the minibus. So how will we get distance 2? We know the duration that each vehicle was used as from 10:35 for them to meet at 1:20 p.m. and the duration we have found here was 2 hours and 45 minutes. So we can get the distance, and therefore distance by minibus to meet distance 2, that is we know distance is speed times time. The speed was still constant at 90 and it has taken 2 and 3/4 hours. So working out this, what do we get? We get 200, and working out this, what do we get? So this shall be 180 plus multiply 90 by 2, then 90 by 3/4. So this shall be 67.5. So adding the two, we shall get a total of, adding the two, we shall get 247.5 kilometers. So I'm saying if you work out this, we shall get, I've tried to work with all numbers first. 90 by 2 is 180 plus, now 90 by the fraction, and when I multiply 90 by 3 is 270 divided by 4, we get 67.5 kilometers. So adding to the 180, we get 247.5 kilometers. So the distance, now we already have distance 2. So already we had covered 210 and now again 247.5. So summing them up, let me come over to another new space. So total distance, therefore, total distance from town A is 210 plus 247.5. So adding the two, we shall get 457.5 kilometers. So there we are, guys. I hope this is understandable. So now, so what are they asking again? Coming over to our questions, we are told at what time did they meet? Of course, that one we have done at 1:20 p.m. Then now more information. We have a motorist starting his journey from his home at 10:30 a.m. and on the same day, and traveled at an average speed of 100 kilometers per hour. He arrived at town B at the very time the minibus arrived. So what time was this that the minibus arrived? So we are looking at the minibus. So minibus began at 8:15 a.m. and moving at a speed of 90 kilometers per hour, and the total distance was 760. So we can get time duration, then we add to the departure time to be able to get the arrival time, and therefore this shall be if we divide through, we shall get 8 hours 27 minutes. If we divide that, we get 8 hours and 27 minutes. So adding to our 8:15 in the morning, we shall get arrival time at town B as this is going to be 16 to 4. So 1642 hours. So that is in 24 hours clock system. Minusing 1200, we shall get 4:42 p.m. 4:42 p.m. in the evening. That is the arrival time at Town B by the minibus. So it therefore implies that even the motorist arrived at this very time, and having left his home at 10:30 in the morning. So what was the duration of the motorist? Duration will be the arrival time. Let me take 1642 minus 10:30. So if I minus this, what do we get? 2, 1, and here 6. So 6 hours, 12 minutes. So it took him or her a duration of 6 hours, 12 minutes. So getting the distance, therefore, distance from his home, from his or her home, will therefore be, distance is usually speed times time, as we all know. So the speed we were told is 100 kilometers per hour, and it has taken him or her 6 hours, 12 minutes. Converting the minutes into hours, we know 12 over 60 will be 1/5. So it therefore implies that 100 times 6, 1/5 hours will therefore be, this is also 600 plus, I've worked with the whole numbers first, then a fifth times 100 is 20. So the distance from his home therefore is 620 kilometers. So guys, there we are. Too easy, like I always say, nothing is impossible. When you believe in yourself, you trust your methods, and you follow keenly what you have been taught, you will be able to understand. So to the lovers of mathematics, you can follow through from the beginning, read the question well, understand, contextualize, digest, and be able to interpret correctly. Use your diagram. I always tell my students, use the diagram. Sometimes we just mark the diagram because everything done here reflected on the diagram shall be seen. Excuse me. So interpret keenly who began first. Like I said, we found the minibus began first by a total time of 2 hours 20 minutes. Getting the distance already covered, we found was 210 kilometers. So the next question we asked was, what distance was still separating them? Minusing it from the total, we found 550 kilometers still left for them to cover. So therefore, we are coming to the aspect of relative speed. These vehicles were going in opposite directions, and therefore they work together. We add their speeds to get 200 kilometers per hour in 1 hour. Then time taken to meet now, that is from 10:35 a.m. So time is usually distance over speed. But now the speed we are using is a special one known as relative speed. Dividing 550 divided by 200, we get it took them a total of 2 hours 45 minutes. So what time was it of the day? And we shall add to the departure time of vehicle B, or of the matatu from town B. Then we find they all met at 1:20 p.m. or you can call it 13:20 hours. Then how far was this? How far in distance was this from town A? Now we are using the first vehicle again, the minibus. The minibus already had covered 210. Now we are just getting this distance too, and that is what we have done here. Distance by minibus, that is distance 2, is the speed by the duration. And we found out that this one shall give us 247.5 kilometers. Adding it to the original distance covered, we find all the way from town A to where they have met is now, all the way from town A to where they have met is now, this 2 added gives me 457.5 kilometers. Then that is therefore the distance from town B. Then the next part of the question was asking, there's a motorist, more information that is, that began its journey, his or her journey at 10:30 a.m. from his home, going towards town B. And by good luck, he or she managed to arrive at the same very time vehicle A reached B. So that is what we had to do here. Get at what time did this minibus really arrive at town B? So that is departure time plus duration, and duration is total distance over the average speed of the vehicle.